They made millions laugh on What's Happening. But life after the sitcom brought unexpected fame, illness, addiction, reinvention, and heartbreaking loss. Decades later, some cast members are barely recognizable. Join us as we reveal what happened to them and subscribe to Hollywood Legends, remembered for more unforgettable television stories. Ernest Lee Thomas. Ernest Lee Thomas arrived in Los Angeles with stage training and only a small number of television credits when he auditioned for Roger Raj Thomas. More than 200 actors reportedly competed for the role, but Thomas's distinctive laugh comic timing and thick-framed glasses helped make Raj the recognizable center of What's Happening when it premiered in 1976. The sitcom gave Thomas sudden fame, but its cancellation after 3 seasons left him searching for a new direction. He later reprised Raj in What's Happening Now, which ran from 1985 to 1988. Rather than disappearing with the character, Thomas continued working in smaller film and television roles, including Spike Lee's Malcolm X, The Steve Harvey Show, and Everybody Hates Chris, where younger audiences knew him as the eccentric funeral director Mr. Omar. Do you remember Raj's unforgettable laugh and attempts to become a writer? Thomas has also written books and spoken publicly about faith, personal setbacks, and surviving the unstable years that followed early television fame. Now in his 70s, he remains closely identified with Raj, a role that still connects him with generations of viewers. Haywood Nelson. Haywood Nelson was only 16 when he became Dwayne Nelson, the soft-spoken teenager known for greeting friends with an unforgettable "Hey, hey, hey." Unlike several older actors playing students on What's Happening, Haywood was close to his character's actual age, helping Dwayne feel natural beside Raj and Rerun. His acting career had begun much earlier. Nelson worked in commercials as a child, appeared on Broadway in Thieves, and played Haywood Marshall on the short-lived Sanford and Son spin-off Grady. When What's Happening premiered in 1976, he quickly became one of television's most recognizable black teenage stars. Which member of the original trio made you laugh the most? After the series ended in 1979, Nelson appeared in The White Shadow and the horror film Evil Speak. He returned as Dwayne for all 3 seasons of What's Happening Now from 1985 to 1988, where the character had grown into a computer programmer. Nelson later moved largely behind the camera as a writer-producer and technical professional. Though his screen appearances became rare, he has continued discussing the show's cultural impact and remains closely connected to the role that made him a television favorite. Fred Berry. Fred Berry brought real dance floor experience to Freddie Rerun Stubbs, the red beret-wearing teenager on What's Happening. Before joining the sitcom in 1976, Berry had performed with the influential dance group The Lockers and appeared on programs including Soul Train and Saturday Night Live. His size, timing, and energetic dancing turned Rerun into one of the show's most recognizable characters. Fame also created serious problems away from the cameras. Berry later said that the constant jokes about his weight affected him deeply, while sudden wealth made his drug and alcohol use worse. He admitted that he had become a millionaire before turning 30, then lost much of that money during years of addiction and unstable living. Could you imagine carrying those private struggles while millions expected you to remain funny? Berry returned for What's Happening Now in 1985, but left during its first season following a salary dispute. In later years, he lost considerable weight, became a Baptist minister, and spoke publicly about addiction and recovery. Berry was married 6 times to 4 women and had 3 children. He died at his Los Angeles home on October 21, 2003 at age 52, while recovering from a recent stroke. Danielle Spencer. A devastating car crash changed Danielle Spencer's life while she was still filming What's Happening. In September 1977, the 12-year-old actress was traveling with her stepfather, Tim Pelt, when their vehicle crashed. Pelt was killed while Danielle suffered serious injuries and remained in a coma for 3 weeks. After months of rehabilitation, she returned as Dee Thomas, concealing some facial injuries beneath a carefully styled hairstyle. Would you have expected a child to return to work after surviving such a tragedy? Danielle had joined the sitcom in 1976, turning Dee's suspicious stare and threat to tell Mama into some of the show's best-known moments. She later appeared occasionally in What's Happening Now, but chose a life beyond acting. In 1993, she earned a veterinary medicine degree from Tuskegee University and spent decades caring for animals. The crash continued affecting her health. Spinal complications temporarily left her unable to walk, and she later faced breast cancer and emergency brain surgery. Spencer died on August 11, 2025, at age 60, after a long battle with cancer. Her life ultimately became known for far more than the sharp-tongued little sister audiences first met on television. Mabel King. Mabel King had already commanded Broadway audiences as Eveline in The Wiz before television viewers met her as Mabel Mama Thomas in 1976. With a powerful voice and firm comic presence, she made Mama more than Raj and Dee's strict parent. She became the household's moral center, often restoring order after the children created another problem. By the second season of What's Happening, King had grown dissatisfied with the direction of her character. She wanted the program to present a stronger black family and reportedly encouraged producers to bring Mama's former husband back permanently. Her suggestions were not adopted, her screen time decreased, and she left before the third season. Would the series have felt different if Mama had remained at the center of the family? King continued working in film and television, reprising Eveline in the 1978 movie version of The Wiz and appearing in The Jerk and Scrooged. Her later years were marked by severe complications from diabetes. After suffering a stroke, she underwent several amputations and effectively retired from acting. Her only son Larry died in 1996. King died on November 9, 1999, at age 66. Shirley Hemphill. A cassette recording helped Shirley Hemphill escape factory work in North Carolina and begin a comedy career in Los Angeles. After comedian Flip Wilson encouraged her talent, she performed in clubs at night while supporting herself as a waitress. Television appearances on Good Times and All's Fair soon led to the role that defined her career. As Shirley Wilson, the sharp-tongued waitress at Rob's Place Hemphill, could silence Raj Rerun and Dwayne with a single comeback. Her timing and fearless delivery made her more than a supporting player on What's Happening. After the original series ended, ABC gave her a starring vehicle, One in a Million, in which she played a taxi driver who unexpectedly inherited a corporation. The show was canceled after one season. Do you think Shirley often delivered the funniest lines in the entire series? Hemphill returned for all 3 seasons of What's Happening Now and continued performing stand-up after it ended. She also appeared in Martin the Wayans Brothers and the film CB4. On December 10, 1999, she was found dead at her California home at age 52. An autopsy determined that kidney failure caused her death. Thalmus Rasulala. Before appearing on What's Happening, Thalmus Rasulala had already built an unusually varied career. Born Jack Crowder, he performed on Broadway in the all-black production of Hello, Dolly, and later adopted the professional name Thalmus Rasulala. His serious presence also made him a familiar face in films such as Blockula Willie Dynamite and Cornbread Earl and Me. On What's Happening, Rasulala played Bill Thomas, the estranged father of Raj and Dee. Bill appeared only occasionally, but his visits created tension inside the Thomas household. His presence gave the sitcom an opportunity to explore divorce-absent fathers and the possibility of repairing a broken family rather than relying entirely on comedy. Do you think Bill Thomas should have become a permanent member of the household? Rasulala gained even wider recognition in 1977 as Omoro Kinte, the father of Kunta Kinte, in the landmark miniseries Roots. He continued working steadily, appearing in the autobiography of Miss Jane Pittman, Star Trek: The Next Generation, Above the Law, and New Jack City. He died from a heart attack in Albuquerque on October 9, 1991. Several projects were released after his death, including Mom and Dad Save the World, which was dedicated to his memory. Earl Billings. Rob's Place gave the young characters of What's Happening Somewhere to gather argue and escape the pressures of home and school. Earl Billings played Rob, the restaurant's patient owner and Shirley Wilson's employer. Appearing in 8 episodes between 1977 and 1979, he brought a calm adult presence to scenes often dominated by Raj Rerun and Dwayne's schemes. Was Rob's place the true heart of the series for you? Unlike actors permanently associated with one sitcom, Billings developed into a dependable character performer. He appeared in television series such as Good Times, The Jefferson's Hill Street Blues, Family Matters, Star Trek: The Next Generation, and South Central. His film work included Crimson Tide, One False Move, Antwon Fisher, American Splendor, and Something New. Billings rarely played glamorous leading men. Instead, he built a long career by making police officers, fathers, military personnel, and working men feel believable even with limited screen time. Born in Cleveland in 1945, he continued acting for decades after Rob's place closed, proving that a supporting performer could quietly outlast many television stars who once received greater attention. Debbie Morgan. Debbie Morgan appeared in only 6 episodes of What's Happening Yet. Diane Harris gave viewers an early glimpse of an actress who would later build one of television's most respected careers. As Raj's intelligent and self-assured classmate, Diane was never treated as merely another girl in the background. Morgan gave the character enough confidence to stand her ground against Raj Rerun and Dwayne. Did you recognize at the time that she would become the show's biggest dramatic success? After leaving the sitcom, Morgan appeared in Roots: The Next Generations before joining All My Children as Dr. Angie Baxter Hubbard in 1982. Angie's romance with Jesse Hubbard became one of daytime television's first major black love stories. In 1989, Morgan became the first black performer to win the Daytime Emmy for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Drama Series. Her acclaimed performance in Eve's Bayou later earned an Independent Spirit Award. Morgan continued working in projects including Power Book 2, Ghost, Our Kind of People, and Tyler Perry's Divorce in the Black. Decades after playing Diane, she remains an active actress whose career extended far beyond the sitcom that first introduced her to a national audience. Fritzi Burr. Fritzi Burr spent years building her comic instincts on stage before becoming Miss Collins, the strict but easily frustrated teacher on What's Happening. Born in Philadelphia in 1924, she worked in vaudeville-style comedy and regional theater before reaching Broadway. She later appeared in Funny Girl, replacing performers in the roles of Mrs. Bryce and Mrs. Strakosch. Between 1977 and 1979, Burr played Miss Collins in 7 episodes of What's Happening. Her classroom scenes gave Raj Rerun and Dwayne another adult authority figure to challenge. Burr's irritated expressions and sharp delivery made even a routine school lecture feel unpredictable. Did Miss Collins remind you of a teacher you once knew? Burr was already an experienced character actress and never depended on one television role. She appeared repeatedly on Sanford and Son and The Rockford Files, while also taking parts in The Odd Couple, The Golden Girls, Seinfeld Friends, and films, including Chinatown and Three Ninjas. She continued acting into the 1990s. Burr died of natural causes in Fort Myers, Florida, on January 17, 2003, at age 78. Brian O'Dell. Brian O'Dell appeared as Marvin, a Jefferson High student who worked on the school newspaper in 6 episodes of What's Happening between 1976 and 1977. Marvin was more observant and outspoken than many of Raj's classmates, occasionally becoming involved in school politics and the problems surrounding Raj Rerun and Dwayne. O'Dell received additional screen time during the salary dispute that temporarily removed Ernest Lee Thomas and Fred Berry from one episode. Do you remember Marvin reporting on the latest trouble at Jefferson High? O'Dell soon moved beyond the sitcom and took the leading role in the 1978 drama Youngblood, playing a young man trying to escape the violence surrounding a Los Angeles street gang. His later television credits included Starsky and Hutch, The White Shadow, Hill Street Blues, and Tour of Duty. Unlike several cast members whose careers remained tied to What's Happening, Odell gradually expanded into writing, directing, and producing. A production company biography published in 2025 described him as still working in the film industry more than 5 decades after first entering the business. His career became quieter, but it did not end when Marvin left Jefferson High. Ray Vitt. Gene Rabbit Walker brought a different energy to What's Happening. Played by Ray Vitt Rabbit, was a University of Southern California political science student and track athlete who briefly rented a room from the Thomas family. Although Vitti appeared in only 3 episodes, his relaxed delivery made Rabbit feel like a believable older friend to Raj Rerun and Dwayne. Vitti was already building a solid career beyond the sitcom. He played Geronimo in the 1976 comedy Car Wash, and later appeared in Thank God It's Friday, Up in Smoke, A Force of One, and 9 to 5. He also held recurring television roles in That's My Mama Doc, David Cassidy Man Undercover, and The Quest. Did you expect Rabbit's promising career to end so suddenly? On February 20th, 1983, police were called to Vitt's Los Angeles home after reports of unusual behavior. He lost consciousness while being transported in police custody and died at age 33. His death prompted protests and questions from community leaders. The coroner later attributed it to a heart attack associated with sickle cell disease, stating that injuries from the struggle had not caused his death. Anne Marie Johnson. Anne Marie Johnson entered What's Happening Now as more than a new face added to a familiar cast. Playing Nadine Hudson Thomas Raj's wife and a social worker, she helped move the story beyond teenage friendships and into adult responsibilities. Nadine often challenged Raj when his plans became unrealistic, giving the revived series a steadier and more mature voice. Johnson joined the sitcom in 1985 and remained through all 3 seasons. Before acting professionally, she studied theater at UCLA, earning both bachelor's and master's degrees. That training became especially visible after the comedy ended, when she moved into more demanding dramatic roles. Did Nadine bring the maturity the original characters needed as adults? In 1988, Johnson began playing Althea Tibbs on In the Heat of the Night. She stayed for 5 seasons and received an NAACP Image Award nomination for her performance. Her later credits included In Living Color, Melrose Place, JAG Girlfriends, and For All Mankind. Johnson also became active in performers' union leadership and industry diversity efforts. Decades after Nadine first appeared beside Raj, she remains a working actress whose career successfully crossed from sitcom comedy into drama and advocacy. Raina King. Raina King was only 10 years old when she joined What's Happening Now in 1985 as Carolyn Williams. Carolyn entered Raj and Nadine's home as their foster daughter, giving the revived sitcom a younger character who could challenge the adults while also bringing family issues into the story. King appeared throughout the first season before the character disappeared from the series. How well do you remember Carolyn's place in Raj and Nadine's household? King continued acting after leaving the sitcom. She appeared in the 1987 comedy Made to Order, played Linnell Cooley in Scrooged, and later joined the cast of Charles Burnett's acclaimed family drama To Sleep with Anger. Her screen career eventually became less visible as she moved toward production work. Raina is the younger sister of actress and director Regina King, but she built her own path behind the camera. In 2017, the sisters established Royal Ties Productions, which later developed projects centered on women and Black stories. They also appeared together in the 2024 film Shirley, with Raina portraying Muriel St. Hill alongside Regina's Shirley Chisholm. By 2026, Raina remains active primarily as a producer rather than a regular on-screen performer. Martin Lawrence. Martin Lawrence was still an emerging stand-up comedian when he joined What's Happening Now in 1987. He played Maurice Warfield, a confident neighborhood teenager who worked at Raj's restaurant and often tested the patience of the older characters. The role lasted through the show's final season, but it became Lawrence's first regular television job and an important entry point into Hollywood. Could viewers have guessed that Maurice would become one of the biggest comedy stars of the 1990s? After the sitcom ended, Lawrence's career accelerated through stand-up and television appearances, In 1992, he launched the Fox comedy Martin, playing radio host Martin Payne, as well as several outrageous supporting characters. The series ran for 5 seasons and established his energetic physical humor and rapid-fire delivery. Film success followed with Bad Boys, Blue Streak Life, and the Big Mama's House movies. Lawrence later returned as Marcus Burnett in multiple Bad Boys sequels and received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 2023. By 2026, Lawrence remains active as an actor, producer, and comedian. Approaching his 60s, he said he was focused on enjoying the career and family life he had spent decades building. Ken Sagoes. Ken Sagoes joined What's Happening Now in 1987 as Daryl, one of the younger employees working around Raj's restaurant. He appeared in 22 episodes during the final 2 seasons, helping the revival introduce a new generation, alongside Martin Lawrence's Maurice. Daryl never became as famous as Raj Rerun or Dwayne, but the role gave Sagoes steady television exposure early in his career. At nearly the same time, he found the part that horror fans still remember most. Sagoes played Roland Kincaid, a strong-willed psychiatric patient who fought Freddy Krueger in A Nightmare on Elm Street 3: Dream Warriors. Kincaid survived that film, but was killed near the beginning of the 1988 sequel, The Dream Master. Do you remember him more clearly as Daryl or as Kincaid? Sagoes continued appearing in television and film, including Rosewood, Martin, The Parkers, and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He also worked as a writer and director. In 1997, he founded the Giving Back Corporation, an organization created to provide educational support and opportunities for young people. By 2026, he remains involved in acting, writing conventions, and community work. Meshach Taylor. Meshach Taylor appeared briefly in What's Happening Now as Buddy Carlton, but the role came during an important transition in his career. Taylor had developed his craft in Chicago theater, earning recognition for serious stage performances before moving to Los Angeles in 1977. His 2 appearances as Buddy showed the relaxed comic timing that would soon make him a familiar television presence. Just 1 year after joining the sitcom, Taylor was cast as Anthony Bouvier on Designing Women. Initially hired as Sugarbaker's delivery man, Anthony gradually became part of the central group. Taylor gave him dignity, warmth, and enough confidence to challenge the 4 outspoken women around him. The performance earned Taylor a Primetime Emmy nomination in 1989. Did you first recognize him as Buddy Anthony or Hollywood Montrose? Taylor also became memorable as the flamboyant window dresser Hollywood in the 1987 comedy Mannequin. Later work included Dave's World Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide and Broadway's Beauty and the Beast. After battling colorectal cancer, Taylor died at his Altadena home on June 28, 2014, surrounded by his family. He was 67 and left behind his wife, 4 children, and a television career spanning more than 3 decades. Irene Cara. Irene Cara had already spent years performing on stage and television when she appeared on What's Happening in 1977. In the episode Rerun Gets Married, she played Maria Torres, a young woman whose sudden romance with Rerun led to a wedding that quickly unraveled. It was a guest role, but Cara's natural confidence and musical presence made her stand out. Would you have guessed that Maria would soon become an international music star? 3 years later, Cara played Coco Hernandez in Fame and sang the film's title song as well as Out Here on My Own. Her biggest success came in 1983, when she co-wrote and performed Flashdance. What a feeling. The song earned her an Academy Award, a Grammy, and a Golden Globe, making her one of the defining soundtrack voices of the 1980s. Cara later reduced her public appearances after a lengthy dispute with her record company, although she continued recording and performing. She died at her Florida home on November 25, 2022, at age 63. Her official cause of death was arteriosclerotic and hypertensive cardiovascular disease, with diabetes listed as a contributing condition. John Witherspoon. John Witherspoon's connection to the franchise began with a small but memorable guest appearance. In a 1978 episode of What's Happening, he played a disc jockey during the Disco Dollar disaster storyline. He returned to the television world of Raj and his friends in 1987, appearing as Adam in an episode of What's Happening Now. These were brief roles years before his exaggerated expressions and instantly recognizable voice made him a comedy favorite. Which John Witherspoon character made you laugh the hardest? His career expanded through films including Hollywood Shuffle Boomerang, The Five Heartbeats, and Vampire in Brooklyn. In 1995, he found his defining movie role as Willie Jones Craig's outspoken father in Friday. That same year, he began playing John Pops Williams on The Wayans Brothers, remaining with the sitcom for 5 seasons. Younger audiences later recognized his voice as Robert Grandad Freeman on The Boondocks. Witherspoon continued acting and performing stand-up into his 70s. He died at his California home on October 29, 2019 at age 77. His death certificate identified a heart attack caused by coronary heart disease. Tim Reid. Before television made Tim Reid famous, he earned a business degree, worked for DuPont, and performed in an interracial comedy duo with Tom Dreesen. That unusual path gave him experience discussing race through humor before he appeared on What's Happening in 1977 as Dr. Claymore in the episode It's All in Your Head. It was a small guest role, but Reid was only a year away from his major breakthrough. Could viewers have imagined that Dr. Claymore would soon become one of television's most recognizable disc jockeys? In 1978, Reid began playing the smooth and thoughtful Venus Flytrap on WKRP in Cincinnati. He later appeared in Simon & Simon's sister Stephen King's It and That 70s show. His most ambitious project was Frank's Place, a comedy drama about a Boston professor who inherits a New Orleans restaurant. Reid starred in and executive produced the series, which examined black culture, race, and class with unusual seriousness. Although it lasted only 1 season, the show received multiple Emmy nominations, including 1 for Reid's lead performance. By 2026, Reid remains active as an actor, director, producer, and supporter of young filmmakers through the Legacy Media Institute.